Hey, my people, I had to jump on and bring you a quick but important update because something big is going down today in Washington. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is meeting with President Donald Trump at the White House today. Now, that alone is a headline, and we've covered it here on the breakdown. But what's raising eyebrows is who else is joining the meeting. According to the official presidential schedule, Elon Musk is now confirmed to be part of the 2-hour meeting. Yes, Elon Musk, the South African-born billionaire, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink, and now also a special government employee in Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. So why is Elon in the room? And what's at stake here? Let's break that down quickly. First, here's the official timeline. At 11:30 a.m., Trump will receive Ramaphosa at the White House. At 11:45 a.m., there will be a working lunch. Then at 12:45 p.m., a bilateral meeting with media access. We'll be watching. And at 1:30 p.m., the meeting will conclude. Now, South Africa's delegation includes top cabinet ministers, as expected, international relations, trade and industry, agriculture. But they also brought some heavy hitters from business and civil society. We're talking about the billionaire chairman of luxury goods company Richemont, Johan Rupert, founder and CEO of Discovery Limited, Adrian Gore, and even top golfers like Ernie Els and Retief Goosen, for that soft power diplomacy, because we all know Trump loves golf. So there may be an invitation of some sort in there. And in the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, President Zingizwa Losi is also attending, signaling Labor's presence in the room. And from the U.S. side is Trump's full inner circle, VP J.D. Vance, Secretary Pete Hegseth, Commerce, State, and of course, Musk. But let's get real. This isn't just a polite diplomatic lunch. There's serious business behind the scenes. And Elon Musk's presence, that's the signal. Sources say Ramaphosa may be preparing to offer major concessions to Elon Musk's companies, especially Tesla and Starlink. We're talking favorable tariffs for Tesla, making it cheaper and easier for Musk to flood South Africa with electric vehicles. But that's just the appetizer. The real headline: a potential exemption from South Africa's 30% local ownership law. For those who don't know, that law requires all foreign tech companies to either cede 30% ownership to Black South Africans or invest the equivalent in local skills development and training. It's been a cornerstone of South Africa's post-apartheid economic justice strategy, not just inclusion, but ownership, not just access, but power. But now, word is Musk may be getting a pass. Here's the irony. Elon Musk, who was born in South Africa, has been publicly claiming that the government wouldn't let him operate there because, quote, he's not Black. But that's not the full story. He never even applied for a license. Why? Because he refused to comply with the country's ownership requirements. So my people, if South Africa caves here, it won't just be about Elon Musk. This sets a dangerous precedent, one that says billionaires can bypass African laws if they are powerful enough. Tech billionaires. One that chips away at Africa's broader goals of digital sovereignty, economic transformation, and Black equity in the industries of the future. And it doesn't stop at Musk, because according to reports, Trump is planning to ask Ramaphosa to make the same exemption for all American companies. So this is a moment of truth. Will South Africa stand by its vision of shared prosperity and local empowerment? Or will Ramaphosa trade away hard-won policies at the altar of diplomatic appeasement? We're watching.
CNN's Larry Madowo now digs into the reality of what's going on in South Africa.
White South Africans, many of them farmers, enter the American dream. Some too young to know they've also entered an international firestorm.
Welcome. Welcome to the United States of America.
The U.S. government says it's taking in these refugees fleeing alleged racial discrimination at home. That's why they've opened the door for them.
Yes, and they don't fit that bill. Those people who have fled are not being persecuted. The American government has got the wrong end of the stick here.
South Africa's president has come to the U.S. to set the record straight and is expected to meet President Donald Trump Wednesday, hoping to reset the two countries' relationship. It was his signing of a controversial land seizure law in January that invoked Trump's wrath, allowing the state to take unused farmland without compensation if deemed just, equitable, and in the public interest. South Africa's majority black population still owns just a small percentage of farms more than 30 years after apartheid officially ended, while most are owned by the white minority. There were 36 murders at farms between April and December last year, but only 7 of the victims were farmers, according to police data. But President Trump calls it a, quote, genocide against white farmers.
They're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed. It's a genocide that's taking place.
The accusation, partly stemming from this apartheid-era song, made popular again by far-left opposition leader Julius Malema.
Kill the poor, the farmer.
But AfriForum, the conservative white Afrikaners lobby group, won't explicitly say there is a white genocide.
There's a call for genocidal call. People are being killed and people are being tortured. We need to prevent this from going further.
AfriForum is described by the US-based Southern Poverty Law Center as a white nationalist group. They have the ear of the US administration, but they're not leaving South Africa.
At AfriForum, we say our future is in Africa because our ancestors came here more than 300 years ago.
South African-born entrepreneur Elon Musk has fanned the accusations against his homeland, frustrating locals.
I think they are lying. There's no genocide in here. Elon Musk is overhyping the situation. There's no such as genocide.
We mustn't mischaracterize things as a genocide. There's no mass expropriation of land taking place in South Africa. There's no genocide taking place.
Musk reportedly wants approvals for his companies to operate in South Africa. Well, is Elon Musk invited when you have that face-to-face meeting?
Well, I don't know. They will determine whether Elon Musk is part of it or not.
President Ramaphosa hopes to mend the rift and convince Trump to attend the G20 summit in Johannesburg in November.
So why is Ramaphosa even at the White House today? Why this high-stakes meeting now? Let's be clear. Ramaphosa requested this meeting. And it's not just about business. It's about damage control. Because earlier this year, January 2025, Donald Trump launched a full-scale rhetorical attack on South Africa. He took to social media, conservative talk shows, and campaign rallies, accusing the South African government of committing a, quote, mass genocide against white farmers. He called the land expropriation policy meant to address centuries of dispossession a, quote, crime against humanity. And the fallout was immediate. U.S. foreign aid to South Africa was slashed. The trade and development incentives were frozen. And perhaps most controversially, Trump fast-tracked white South Africans for refugee and asylum status in the U.S. under a narrative of ethnic persecution. That kind of international framing has been devastating for South Africa's global reputation and, of course, for its economy. So today's meeting is Ramaphosa's attempt at a reset, a chance to repair the relationship, reopen economic channels, and hopefully maybe even shift the narrative. But here's the tension. We know Ramaphosa is ready to offer major trade concessions. Tesla, Starlink, favorable tariff, exemptions from local ownership laws. But what we don't know is whether he's planning to walk back or water down South Africa's land reform laws to appease Trump. Because for Ramaphosa, land reform isn't just policy, it's political survival. But for Trump, this is a convenient culture war weapon. So the question is, will South Africa stand firm on land justice while negotiating economic recovery? Or will this be another case of Western pressure forcing African leaders into quiet compromises behind closed doors? We're watching. So this is a moment of truth, not just for Ramaphosa, but for South Africa's broader post-apartheid promise. If Starlink gets a pass, if Tesla slides through without real local accountability, if U.S. companies walk away exempt from the 30% law, what does that signal? It signals that foreign powers can write their own rules in Africa, that economic justice can be negotiated. And let's be real, what happens in South Africa won't stay in South Africa. If this law falls here, you can bet other countries will start pushing for similar concessions across the continent. So yes, today's meeting may be wrapped in flags and photo ops, but the stakes are very high. Ramaphosa may be able to make amends with Trump, but the question we need to be asking is, at what cost? What will he be giving up? My people, we'll be watching closely because Africa deserves real partnerships, not billionaire exemptions. And every move made in that White House today will echo far beyond the walls of Washington. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Ramaphosa is making the right move? Or is this all a big mistake? Stay tuned because this story is still unfolding and I'll be bringing you updates. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.